super sport, wet paint, big feet. I pull up and kill shit, 6 feet.
Alright, 6 feet going deep. It's Torius with?
Yeah, this Twleve'Len.
Alright, Twleve'Len, why don't you tell us about what you do?
I'm a creative out of Miami. I make music, of course. And I just provide platforms for a lot of the little homies to be able to just cut through and just like build. That's really all I'm about, is just building.
It's like your store, right? It's a nice
yeah,
store,
this is my showroom. So like, just like here, just like people just come and link up and like I said again, like they just come and create. If it's art, if it's music, if it's fashion, just whatever it is. Like right now, I got one of my homies. His name Lofty 305. He's doing an installation here for a video game that he's launching in October. So right now he's taking over the second half of the space and redesigning the whole thing and like hacking a bunch of he hacking a bunch of those old school arcades. Yeah. Right now he's hacking a bunch of arcades with his games. So I mean like that's one of the bigger projects that we doing right now.
Oh yeah, that's dope. Shout out Lofty 305.
Yeah, Metro Zoo, man. Shout out.
Did you grow up listening to them, or like were you always like around them?
I grew up. I want to say that I most definitely grew up like listening to them. But more so just like hearing about them really, like in all of this stuff that they was doing like in the art community and the art world. Like I grew up in Carrick City. I know they kind of like grew up more so on the beach and downtown area. And once I started like tapping outside of the environment I grew up in, you know, I started seeing other parts of Miami. You know, and I want to feel like a bit. Not I want to say I feel like, but a big part of that was I want to say it was Bel Air Academy, like. Going through Bel Air Academy and tapping into like Bel Air Academy allowed me to be able to see certain things and like meet people that I typically wouldn't have met, like Space Ghost Perk, Rob Banks, me and Denzel, like all of us, the whole Raider Clan movement. That kind of like gave us, Bel Air Academy gave us it gave us an interest into like just exploring something different. You feel me? So that's how I ended up meeting like Lofty, you feel me? I ended up meeting him through Denzel Curry, and I ended up meeting even like Perp through like Denzel and a bunch of them like way back in like 2012 type shit. So yeah.
Was that an art school?
Nah, Bel Air Academy was a space just like this.
Oh, okay.
So the homie Mufasa, that was his space, and it was in Carrick City. He ended up getting jammed up and going to the feds, and the space ended up just going away. So up until like 13 maybe it was when Pop went away, we didn't have another place like that. We ended up having this one other place that came about, which was Element-T, and we created something called The Void. And with The Void, when we established The Void, which was really Denzel and Forbes, and then they brought in like Sean Baines and Ashley Venom, and then it turned into something else, and now it is what it is today, and it's still thriving. We didn't have a place, we didn't have another place since then, and even like with Element-T getting shut down over here in Wynwood, we still didn't really have no creative hub. So I wanted to just pretty much bring that back, just creating a place for people to feel like they could go tap into people that they feel like they can relate to. You know what I mean?
So was it because of them that you got into music?
Nah, it wasn't because of them.
So how did you start
I've been doing music like, I don't want to say doing music, like I've been into music since I was like 8 years old. Like I've always been into music. I've always been like writing music, singing in the choir, rapping since I was 8, 9 years old. Like I grew up in Carrick City, and I grew up under like I literally grew up under Flo Rida and Ross and them. So like Miami legends like Briscoe, and like they knew me since I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
You know, like freestyling when I was 10 years old. Like they have footage and videos of me rapping when I was 10, 11, and 12. I've been doing it, but I want to say I didn't start actually like putting out my music to the world until like 2013, SoundCloud.
Yeah.
So like literally my entire like childhood being into music, growing up around music, I want to say I didn't find Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna bring it back to that. I didn't find the confidence to actually push it out until linking up with the boys.
So what made you want to go to the direction of like more R&B sound than in that time? Like everyone's rapping, but you want to do something different. What made you want to do that?
I just think it's in me to like go against what's always going on. Not in a stubborn way or ignorant way. You know, it's just more so of like, if everybody's going left, I don't want to. That's not my first choice to say, all right, let me go left too. You know what I mean? Like, if I would have went that direction, I'm pretty sure I would have succeeded either way it went. But I don't know. I just wanted to do something different. I was rapping my entire life, just like freestyling and growing up under a bunch of rap niggas. You feel me?
Yeah.
I ain't want to do that. That's still in me, like, but it's just like.
So you feel like you can go toe to toe with like Denzel?
Them boys know that, man. They're my brothers, man. It's all competition. Every time we see each other, we freestyling, rapping, just kicking it. You know.
So tell me about that time, right? When you see like your success, because that's the time I was starting listening to you, right? Because I was like I would like stumble upon your music on SoundCloud, like, oh, this is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I start seeing your name over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing like, oh, he's getting pretty big. Tell me about your experience on that end.
Far as what specifically?
Like you see your numbers going up. You finally get the confidence to drop music, and then like everyone's going up, and your numbers are going up. So tell me about that.
I mean, how it makes me feel. It doesn't really makes me feel. I don't ever think about it. It don't really make me feel like anything because ultimately I see myself somewhere else. Like in a sense of like. My eyes is still on where I want to be. And all of the blessings that I have inquired on within the years, when people even congratulate me and say like, yo, you doing good or you doing great, it's kind of hard for me to even accept that because I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I literally don't know how I do half of the shit that I do. Or I receive half of the shit that I receive, bro. Like, so it's like, I want to say it's just more so of like, I don't know. I never think about that. Like, I don't really even know how to answer because I just don't know. Like, I really don't know.
No, it's good though because then that's what keeps you humble. Like so that when the fame and everything does come, like you don't get like that big head.
Yeah.
Have you seen that with any of the artists that you were coming up with?
Hell yeah.
For like how they change with the fame.
They change. People change. Like people change. There's no way around it when it comes to certain people. It's just weeding out who you got around you and who for you. And a lot of times people get over the gate not knowing how they got over the gate to begin with because someone else put them over it. So a lot of times you can't hold certain people accountable for not being a team player. Because a lot of times, homies, people might have people around them and they like, damn, why this person not doing this and doing that? A lot of times those people don't even know how they got in the position in which that they got in. It's just because they had a structure or a system around them that was able to get them to that next stage.
Do you feel like it's ever luck?
Nah, it's not luck. It's all divine. It's never luck.
All right, so when you say divine, what do you mean by that?
In the sense of like, it's just all timing. It's just, I don't believe that it's actually luck. It's what you put out. Even with the energy that you're putting out isn't within the same medium in which you get your success. It's still what you put out, so I don't think it's luck. I think it's purposeful.
Because I have this theory where I feel like if you're going to be this big mega celebrity, I feel like it's kind of like a divine thing where it's like you were predestined when you were born.
Yeah, you was already chosen.
Yeah.
Like we are all chosen in some way. Again, like even if it's not in the medium in which you see yourself wanting to be in. Like I was having a conversation with one of the homies the other day, and I was like, your purpose is your purpose, and your purpose will never change. Like where you are to be at will never change, but the way that you get there, that changes every single day. Who you are today, that changes every day. So put it like this, right? It's like a lot of times we fight with ourselves, or we find ourselves feeling some form of resistance, right? With where it is we are headed in life, right? And I feel like a lot of times it's because you're not answering the phone. Metaphorically, you not how do I explain it? It's like your calling. Like your calling changes every day. Like today, God might be calling you to be a fucking videographer today. That's what you have to be today. But it still doesn't change where you're going to end up. Yeah. You might say, today I need you to be an activist. Today I need you to be this. But we get so wrapped up in where we see ourselves, we try to live within that. Or we try to control the narrative and stay within a certain medium. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's why, like, even for myself, I haven't released music since 2016. And I just now released another project. Like, I released a bunch of, like, little things I throw around or whatever, but I never released a body of work until now.
That's very interesting what you say, because I was going to ask you, like, what makes, if your calling changes every day, what makes you still want to pursue music?
It's because the music isn't the pursuit. The music is already who you are. That's who you are. I'm not trying to pursue music. I am already music. You are already who you are. That is not changing. What's changing is the adaptation of what it is that you have to do to get to where you want to be. I'm not trying to get to be a musician. You feel me? I'm trying to get to a place where I can provide for my family and inquire on certain things that I want for myself. You feel me? Those are those things. You feel me? Music is the tool and the gift. And if you don't use that gift, that's a shame. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's literally only a tool. Your talents is only tools. You know what I mean? Those are who you are. Those are tools that are in your DNA. Those are your tools. And back to like what I was saying is just like when your calling changes, like 2016, I released Friends. That was 2016, 17. I released Friends.
Yeah, you take me back, bro.
And since then, I ain't do nothing. But that nothing, it wasn't nothing as far as music. Because I was doing a lot. And a lot of people was like, damn, boy, yeah, da-da-da. Man, I'm loving your shit. Like, I ain't released nothing in 3 years. How the fuck? But the thing is because, again, and I didn't know this. It's not like I know everything. It's this what I'm speaking about right now is what I just figured out, like, the past 2-3 weeks. And in that time where people who looked up to me musically was like, yo, you on this hiatus or whatever, I was fulfilling another calling that I was fulfilling another call that God put me on. He was like, yo, I got a mission for you. This is what I need you to do right now. You feel me? Which was which was congregating people. You feel me? So from 2017 to 2019, I was doing these parties called the Homies Only. And the Homies Only ended up growing to, I want to say like 700 was the minimum of the amount of people that was pulling up every first Friday of every month. You know, and the reason why I started doing that is because I was getting frustrated locally. I was getting frustrated in my backyard here in Miami, where when I go to certain clubs, I don't hear not only myself but a lot of my homies like Denzel, Puya, a bunch of artists from out here that's streaming and charting, doing 2, 3, 4, 5 million a month, and I'm not hearing our records being played in none of these clubs or these certain bars being broken by these DJs or whatever the case is, and that started bothering me. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna control my own narrative. So I started throwing my own parties.
I have a question about that, right?
Yeah.
Because you know how the dynamic works in Miami or
in
Florida. It's like you got the strip club artists, like Kodak, like like all the artists that are like on the trap shit.
Yeah.
And then you have like artists like on the more underground scene, you know, like how you guys were. So how, those artists, I feel like they were popping a lot quicker because they were playing the strip clubs, they were playing the clubs. And like, how did you feel about, like, were you trying to branch into that?
It wasn't that I was trying to branch into it. To me, it's a form of respect. Like, it's disrespectful. I feel like when you have any artist, it don't matter what genre that they're in, doing 10 and 20 million, and you know who I am. You feel me? As a DJ, as a person from the city, you know me. I know you. Why the fuck you not playing this shit? You get what I'm saying?
Alright, but do you think that...
And it's not that the music isn't receptive, because it's your job to break those records.
But are ladies going to be shaking their ass to like the slow shit?
It still doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I get it. It's a time and place for things. but at the same time, it's you as a sound curator, you figure out your ways.
Because I feel like you guys were making more like lyrical music, right? Like I would listen to you guys, like when I'm like chilling. You feel me? Like if I'm at work or like at the crib, like I just want to hear shit. Like I want to feel shit. I'll listen to you guys, right? But if I'm in the club, like I don't really care too much about.
But see, that's what I'm saying though. I'm not only pointing out the clubs. When I'm pointing out clubs, I'm talking bars. I'm talking all of these different places. And the music do resonate into those places and into those spaces as well. They're DJs. They know how to arrange these things. They know what to do. And then again, like I'm saying again, just a sense of respect. It really just is, period. And my whole thing was, I only hear my records in those clubs when I'm there. You get what I'm saying? Or when I'm in those bars. But the moment that I got with Coach K, all of that had changed. And it was like, now they want to dick ride. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, so it wasn't that it don't work. It's just, you just didn't. It's just, I don't even really know what it is. It's like, how do I explain it? It's like, I don't know. It's just, I guess in like layman's terms, it's like, motherfuckers don't fuck with you unless they see other people fucking with you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's okay. I understand it. That just, what they call it? They call that proof of concept. You feel me? It's proving itself to work, so let me get on it because it's working. You know what I'm saying? Even as a consumer, it's like, oh, it's hot. Let me get on it.
Yeah.
You know? But nah, so yeah, I took it upon myself to control my own narrative. And I started throwing my own parties and booking my own DJs, the 5 homies only DJs that we do have. And I literally like made it my business to sit them down prior to bringing them onto the team. Like, yo, look, these are the 20 records, right, that we need spun. Y'all need to play these records 3 times a piece, yo. Put them in the mix. Because Miami is a party city. Nobody comes here. Nobody tours here. Nobody comes here for that. It's a party city. So the records got to be broken in the clubs. The records got to be broken amongst people enjoying themselves. Music is nothing without being attached to a moment. Music has to be attached to a moment.
Because I was going to say, like, it is good that you guys, like, you were throwing those parties, right? Because, you know, you said that yourself, you haven't dropped since, like, 2016.
Yeah.
But, you know, I still remember you. I was still a fan of you. You know what I mean? Even though, like, because I feel like what that does is, like, your type of music builds more longevity.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm still a fan of you after all this time. Like, you might drop something, like, oh, I'm going to listen to it, right? Because I grew up,
Yeah.
like, you know, exposed to that. And you taking it upon yourself to, you know,
Create new moments.
yeah, it's like more of a culture. You get me? Like,
Yeah.
you made your own culture. Like the strip club culture or the club culture, that's its own thing, right? But you guys made your own, like, this is us. So that's what built that longevity of, like, I'm still fuck with you even though it's like been like 10 years since you guys put out something. You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's about, though. Like, you just got to control your own narrative, man. That's what life is about.
So what did you learn from, like, throwing the Void and Homies Only? Like, what did you learn from all that?
I look at everything like church. So you just build your foundation, you build your congregation, and you live in it. Like, you just got to create your own world. Like, that's what I learned from that. Like, and again, like, it was already in me. I didn't know what I was doing until, like, now, 2021. I'm starting to realize, like, damn, Disney World is a crazy concept. Like, they literally created their own ecosystem, their own world.
Were you watching the Imagineering story?
Nah, I never seen it.
Bro, you should watch it.
Yeah? I'm gonna check it out. Like, it's just fire though, like, where it's like you create this concept or you create this portal and you allow people to enter it and habitat in it. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, live in it. You know, like, you ain't gotta go nowhere else. Like, this is what you wear, this is what you eat, this is what you drink, this, but you create that for yourself. Like, it's only I wanna say, like, on the music side, for me, there's only 2 artists that have done that to maximum capacity of today's time, which is only Tyler and Travis. They created an entire, like, world, like an ecosystem where you can get food here, you can get whatever you could think about, you could literally, like, live in that. You feel me? Like, but then you have, like, mega stars. I call these motherfuckers, like, travelers, which is like Kanye and Jay-Z and Beyonce. They don't have a world. They travel to your world though, and you feel me? But you don't really live in a world. They don't have an entire ecosystem where you can actually live and exist in it, from clothing to that's like I said again, like who's doing it the best? That's Travis. That's Tyler. Who else had like portals back in the day? You had like Pharrell. He created his portals. You know, even if it was sonically. Timberland, his portal was sonic, and people lived in his portal. If it was Aaliyah, if it was Missy, if it was whoever it was, you know. But yeah, it's just like that's what I learned from it, just creating your own portal and like just existing in it and allowing people to come and exist in it as well.
What do you mean by Kanye and Beyonce are?
They're the metaphor of travelers in the sense of like they go into other portals, right? They tap into other people's portals, and they juice up. Like that's how they do it. But they're not actually creating an entire ecosystem. Again, like and this is my perspective on it. Like looking at like again like an artist like Tyler, right? He created his portal. Camp Flaw, that's the place of congregating. That's the church. You feel me? You go to the donut shops. That's where you go and you eat. You wear golf wing. That is what you wear when you in that world. It's just like, and again, like Travis. You feel me? Those experiences, even with the shows you have Astro. What do you eat here? You eat the Cocoa Puffs. What do you wear? You wear Cactus Jack. What do you listen to? You listen to this. What do you drink? You drink the Spritzer. It's the entire world. You can literally live in it. The only thing is missing is a fucking hotel. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I say about like the Disney World concept that I admire about like what it is to create your own portal in your own world. And I feel like that's what's important for artists, especially now today, with social media being like one of the most driven things behind like advertisements. And it's like if you ain't got the money to play in it, I mean your best bet is to work in your backyard. You feel me? And build a world in your backyard. And then how you get that church to grow is you just gotta have that attraction, that one Ferris wheel, metaphorically, you know, that's going to bring people in. Once they come, make sure that they fall in love with this world so now they can live in it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Now they paying rent in it. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, that's more, that has become more important to me. It was just like, let me just create my own narrative. Let me just live in my own world. Let me just let that grow. Same shit Nipsey was trying to do with his space in Cali. You feel me? Like you can literally like he had his hub, like you come in. He wasn't worried about the rest of the world. I'm only fucking with who fucking me. If you fuck with me, I fuck with you. That's all. I don't care for nothing else. It's like if you fuck with me, I fuck with you. And that's all.
No, what you say is valid because we're gonna go see Chipper right now. He's like wearing all red. I was like thinking about that, like
That's
it.
Crazy.
No, but like with Nipsey and like with the whole like portals and everything, like do you feel like you're creating that right now?
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm in the pursuit of doing. You know, that's why I have this space.
So how would you describe your world?
I'm still in the process of that.
Or are you a traveler?
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not a traveler. And it's not wrong with being a traveler. It's just harder for me to be able to do that because I know with the music and the style that I do have, it's not fabricated and it doesn't exist other than me. Like it really doesn't. Like it's similarities in between like me and a lot of my affiliates. Like we're different, you know. Like that's how people like to say like, yeah, y'all different. Like me, Guap Dad, Denzel. Like we just be on. All of us just literally on our own way. So it's hard to be a traveler when you ride only your own way.
So you don't listen to other people's music? You just fuck with your own?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't even listen to my own music, man.
Bro?
After I make it, it'd be hard for me to even listen. Cause again, like I said again, like you say, like your first question, like how I feel or how I feel like to see yourself growing. Mm-hmm. I never give myself that time to be able to sit back and even like look at what I've done. Because I'm so focused on where I'm trying to go.
You fuck with psychedelics?
Oh yeah.
What's your
only shrooms. I don't smoke weed. I don't do really nothing. Only thing I do is I literally only do shrooms. Like, that's like my thing.
Did you learn anything? Like how's that affect you? Like influence you?
Oh yeah, and all of them though. Like bro, like if it wasn't for mushrooms, me trying mushrooms the first time I tried mushrooms, I would not be the person I am today. Like at all, I would not be the person I am today. My ideology, in the sense of the way that I think, would not be how it is today.
Did you have a good trip or was it bad?
It was a good trip. It was a very long trip. My first trip was a real long trip. It was me and JK the Reaper. We had took shrooms and then we had called the Uber and just like literally just rode the Uber all around the city for no apparent reason. Yeah. But like we was picking up a lot along the ride, like a lot of things that we was realizing. Again, back to like the portal. That's when I realized that we had to create our own portals, because he was like, man, bro, why we ain't doing this and doing that, da-da-da-da. So I think looking at it wrong. And then what happened was we rode past, it's going to sound like I'm going way off, but we rode past the Honda dealership off of the 826. And then JK was like, yo, man, we should start performing at, he said we should start performing at, I forgot what the fuck he said. It was like agendas though, basically what he's saying, like, and I was like, when he said that, it triggered something. I was like, yo, I said, JK, what you into? And he was like, I don't know. I was like, nah, bro, what you into? He couldn't answer. I was like, bro, you into dogs, you into drinking, you into this, you into that. I said, is it a world for that? He said, yeah. I said, all right, we need to tap into that, because then it would no longer be work, because it's just you. Now you piecing together your portal. You get what I'm saying? Because it's already people that's already into those things. I don't know, but it's just like, it was my trips be a lot, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I'm always picking up some shit on my trips, bro.
Like, how long ago was that? Was that when you were last making music and you took a break, or?
That trip, my first trip was in 2016. It was when I was making friends. And that's how I managed to even push out friends, was because of my trip.
Yeah, how was that whole campaign? Because I remember seeing it all over my stories all the time. Like, I remember everyone was posting it.
I don't know. Like, around that time, I was fucking with Coach K. That was when Lil Yachty had just dropped One Night. And it was just me and Yachty over there as, like, the new artists, you know, under Coach K. Not specifically under QC, but just under Coach K. You feel me? Under his operation. And he reached out to me because he seen the Naked Hustle remix I did for Bizzle. And he had to hit me up. And me and him just, like, we hit it off. So, like, one thing I can say I always love and respect about him is that any resource he have, he don't try to stand in between you and that resource. So how he is, he'll be like, yo, look, it's the chief editor at Rolling Stone, da-da-da, this is this person. Hey, yeah, I need y'all to connect. And then that's it. And now y'all connected. Now you communicating, you feel me? So it's like, with that whole campaign, I ain't gonna lie, Coach, he set up a bunch of plays for me where he knew I knew how to operate on my own. So he gave me a bunch of those plays, and that shit just, when I dropped that project and I had got that one review from Vader with the Frank Ocean shit, that is what, like, that's what my foundation kind of, like, it really established itself. You feel me? Like, especially amongst, like, all of the A&Rs, and, like, they were just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, okay. They started tapping in at that time. So, yeah.
Was there ever any obstacles, like any roadblocks? Because you said, like, Coach K helped you with that. But what were, like, your obstacles?
My obstacles was not having a team. Like, still. Because, again, like I said, like, at that time, he couldn't really get involved with me, because Yachty was just going. Migos was at their highest. So, and the thing is, I'm not the type of person to just sit down and not do nothing. You feel me? So, the obstacle always is not having a proper team or having enough hungry people around you.
Were you signed?
Nah, I wasn't signed. And that was even, like, I want to say, like, again, like, that's why I always will love and respect that man. Because he could have done that and just, like, had me sitting because he was a fan of it. But he knew, like, damn, I can't. But you know what? Let me help you as much as I can. You feel me? And that's what he did.
All right, so what are you doing now different than you were back then? Like, you know, like, now you have been under that tutorship of Coach K. Like, what are you gonna implement into what you're doing now?
I mean, right now, I want to say just putting together a really solid foundation in the sense of a team members, and, you know.
So what are you looking for in a team? Like, who specifically? Like, looking for videographers? Looking for?
I mean, yeah, a little bit of everything. Like, a lot of stuff I do internal with, like, the homies that I do have. But like I say again, just like real game, like real game changers, like people who just really just go out and just go get it. If it's like, again, like those brand partnerships and just stuff like that, because to stay independent, that is the goal, you know. But to be able to move and be able to you know, make even bigger moves, you're gonna need that capital. You know, you're always gonna need more capital. Yeah, we got capital, but you need more capital. You need more.
So there's always an argument where it's like, should you be, you know, a mysterious artist, or should you be like out and like, because nowadays, you know, everyone has to be like have a persona, right? Like everyone has to be like out and have everything exposed about themselves. Like,
yeah.
So where do you see yourself in that? Like, do you see yourself as a more mysterious artist where no one can really know anything about you? Or are you trying to like leverage every single social media, like TikTok, YouTube?
Nah, I don't do. And again, this isn't like a shame thing or a point of a finger of a type of thing. I don't do things that I can't. I don't do things that's not me. So it's like, I feel like, to answer your question, I feel like it's just more so the artist just like really being honest with yourself. You feel me? Be honest with yourself of who you are and your willingness of what it is that you are willing to do, and is it even true to you? You know, so if you want to be mysterious, do it. Be that, because you are that. Like you don't really think about it. I don't know how people even perceive me, because I'm always out in the open. Like, you'll catch me walking through Wynwood. You'll catch me here 1 to 6 at the shop. Like, you gonna catch me in the middle of a party. You gonna catch me in the office. You gonna catch me in G5. You gonna catch me out. Like,
yeah, I remember seeing you at like every single one of those shows. Like,
yeah, like
back then.
You gonna catch me out. Like, so it's like, just be yourself. Like, that's the best you can do, bro. Like, just be yourself.
So outside of music, what other ventures you have going on? Like, what else are you trying to pursue? Because you said you have different callings.
I don't know. I mean, the only real pursuit that I do have right now is it's always financial. It's always like financial growth. It's always not having to worry and having things self-operating, having shit on automatic. My main pursuit is just trying to be a higher self, like my higher self. Just trying to get to that point. It's nothing else. Like, my calling right now, is back to music. You feel me? My calling during the pandemic was getting this space. You feel me? I got this space in February, right before this happened, because I knew that I had to do this space. I knew I had to get a space to attract those that are like me. You get me? Like, I knew I had to get a space for that, or I had to create a space or find a space where I know I will run into other creatives in this city, where it's like, it's hard because not a lot of places like this. There is no other place like this.
So, all right. So describe the place. Like, anyone could just like walk in.
Yeah, anybody can walk in. 1 to 6, anybody could come through here. On the weekends, any day, anybody could come in, come talk to somebody here. If it's me, Udo, or Alejandro, anybody could come through and just pitch their ideas or be like, yo, I'm looking for a space to be able to work out of. Because we do co-working space here, you know. So it's like, you pay for your key and you're able to just come in and utilize everything that's here. If it's our printers, if it's our photo studio, if it's the back room to set up your sewing kits and sewing machines, whatever it is that you need to do, you're able to do it here. Like, that's the whole reason of the space, again, is just to be able to coexist. Because a lot of times we find ourselves just existing, and that just makes you a person. It don't make you actually a part of a human race, because we're not trying to coexist. You have to also know how to coexist in life. Like, even like with your business, learning how to like make your business coexist with other things that's happening in the world, or other things that's happening with other people. You know, is learning how to piggyback off of what is actually happening. So like, that's what this place is. It's co-working, it's coexisting, it's a place to just go and build and meet other people that can, I guess, like help fuel what it is that we have going on. Not me, but I'm just saying, like, just us as a people.
All right, so your new album, right?
Yeah.
What do you want people to take from it? Like, so if someone's gonna listen to it all the way through, like, what do you feel like they should get from the experience?
Well, first off, Sugar Hill Express is
I was gonna ask you why you named it that too.
yeah. The entire album is motivated. It's motivated through the bass of the music, like literally the bass behind the music. The actual percussion, the actual percussion of the music was all inspired by Uncle Al, which is like a Miami legend.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, and he had his own on pirate radio, which was, you know, Sugar Hill. Well, which was Sugar Hill Express. You feel me? Like Sugar Hill Gang. Like all of the homies, all of the old heads, all of the DJs, whatever. That was their collective. Mm-hmm. So I actually reached out to his son, and he was like, "Man, look, you know, you ain't had to reach out to me to name the album after my pops, bro. You could have just did it." I said, "That's not how I move." So
yeah.
He came through here. We sat down. He looked just like his old boy, bro. And he told me like, yeah, you can use it. So when I went into like creating the album, I knew I wanted it to be extremely bassy, and I wanted to create a contrast between creating traditional R&B music, me being in love with like Frankie Beverly and Maze, and you know, like a lot of the other Florida legends like Betty Wright or whatever. I knew I wanted to create something that felt good. Mm-hmm. I knew I wanted to create something that was, again, like that could feel really traditional to R&B or soulful music. Let me not even say R&B because it's not the same as soul. And I knew I wanted it. I knew I wanted the bass to hit as if you was listening to a fucking 15-foot stack wall of DJ speakers from the early 2000s and late 90s. That Miami bass. So like that was my mission when I was creating it. So that's what it is I wanted people to take from it the most. And of course I wanted people to take the stories, you know. So like taking the story behind the contrast of hearing the pianos and hearing the live bass and the live guitars and hearing like these soft ballady type records, but also taking the story away, which is more so about like getting it out of the mud, you know, like doing it on your own, you feel me, being brokenhearted, pursuing and chasing things, paper chasing, you know. It's just like I just wanted to create something that just contrasts really well for our people, you know. So what it is that I want people to take from it mainly is that I just want people to just feel like as a creative, we shouldn't be afraid of just trying new things and like, again, like creating your own tones and I don't know, just explore, like just exploring the music, like exploring the art. That's pretty much it. Like I just wanted them to take that.
Give me a scene of you in the booth. How's that like?
Just in general.
Mm-hmm. Like you freestyle everything, or do you write?
I write. I freestyle like my melodies out, of course, but for the most part, I write everything. Like I'm a very intentional person. Everything has to be with intentions. If it's not with intentions, I'm not fucking with it. I'm not gonna do it. Mm-hmm. My must-haves in the studio is a bottle of Patron and honestly just me by myself, just me and just the producer, like no one else.
Yeah, 'cause you had that practice, and you said that you were making music since you were like 9 years old, right?
Yeah.
So you've definitely put in those hours of work. So you feel like when you put out a song, what makes you think that, like, what makes you feel like, okay, I'm gonna put this on my album, and how do you feel like it makes, like, it's finished?
I don't really know until I have all of the records, and then I'm able to, you know, decipher what feels right where, and if it could continue the story, on the album, so it can be progressive. Like again, like just it being within all intentions, everything being within fully intentional.
Mm-hmm. Is there anyone that you're looking out for right now that you see coming up in Miami?
Right now, I mean, he's still putting in his work, but Like the homies, like I really want to see my dog Bushy B get up, like go to the next level. You feel me? Like I think it's just a matter of time for him to just be able to say like, all right, let me get out of Miami for a little bit and start kicking it in Cali, because that's what I had to do. You know, like I kicked it out in Cali and I was able to work with Schoolboy Q. I was able to work with Issa Rae, and it's just like, but you just got to be able to be willing to go other places and not let your comfort hold you back.
So do you feel like you're not able to blow up out of Miami? Like you have to go somewhere else before you get...
No. You can definitely blow up out of Miami, but you still have to like move around. Because Miami it's a very small fishbowl. But it's still one of the most important places. Like it's just as important to build a foundation in Miami as it is to build in California or in New York, in LA or in New York. You know, it's literally New York, LA, Miami, Atlanta. Like, so it's like, yeah, you still could build a foundation here, but you gotta leave from here because the system here in Miami is not designed. The music industry we don't really have a structure for that. Like LA has a structure for that. Atlanta has a structure for that. New York has a structure for music. You know what I mean? Miami don't have a structure for music. Like you can't say you're an A&R, but you live in Miami. How the fuck? Like, or you work out of Miami? There's no way, unless you in Latin music. But it's not a structure for that.
So you feel like you're competing with Latin music?
Nah, because that's Latin. That's Latin music. It's definitely no competition there.
What advice do you have for any artists that are coming out right now? They don't really know what's the next step. What would you tell them the next step? You know, they're just like making music out of their crib. Like, what should they do next?
The next step, I would say, recognize your audience. Do your research in the sense of like, where again, proof of concept, meaning the style of music or the style that you possess. Where does that music already exist, and where and what geographics is already winning in? So therefore, you don't work hard. You work smart, and you cut the time in half by tapping in where that shit is already going, like where it already works. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
Like, and that's my only advice, because you could create all of the beautiful music that you want, but you know you ain't got the bread for PR. You know you ain't got the bread for advertisement or any of these things. You ain't got the money, you ain't got the capital, or you ain't got the team. But you can help yourself by cutting that all in half by just tapping in where that proof of concept actually already works. You know, like a lot of artists in Miami don't be going, and I realize this is because Miami artists are very lyrical, extremely lyrical, and I feel like a lot of the underground artists here, they will all work well if they tapped into New York. Not to the West Coast, but if they tapped into New York. Because a lot of the underground scene here is they really on that hip hop rap shit. And then if they on that screamo shit, that work on the West Coast. So go ahead and go tap into Texas and tap in to the Memphises and tap into the LA and the Arkansas and the Arizonas, you know, the New Mexico. That's the route that Denzel, not Denzel took. That's the route that Puya took. You feel me? Denzel took the New York route. You feel me? He went New York first, then came to the West Coast. Ross, lyrical. He had to go where? New York. Texas ate it first, but then he went to New York. So it's just recognizing like your style and your genre and just figuring out where that proof of concept already is living, so you can cut that time in half for yourself before you start stressing about not having a team or not having bread.
Describe a Twleve'Len fan. Like, who's your perfect fan?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Nah, I feel like it's. I have fans that love me for my music, and I have fans that love me for just myself as well. Like, so it's like it varies. Like, I don't even know what a perfect Twleve'Len fan. Like, I was just like last night I was just at the Rimmer show, and I kept getting stopped, and I was like, wow, I didn't know motherfuckers like this fuck with me, so it's just like I don't even know what that perfect fan is.
Because you were saying that it's always important to know your target demographic. So
Yeah.
Who would your
So if that's more so of what you asking,
yeah, like an example.
like whenever I look at those, I look at the back end of when it comes down to the music, even at the shows, I see a lot of my people there. You feel me? Like I see a lot of like beautiful Afrocentric women. You know, I feel that if I could describe it, just it's Afro punk. You know, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You have anyone you want to shout out?
Shout out to all of the Velour boys. I want to shout out. I want to just shout out everybody that fuck with me, man. Like anybody and everybody that support me, that has been there since the beginning. In the midst of me disappearing and reappearing, and thank y'all. Like that's really it. Like shout out to y'all. Shout out to 6 Feet, and let's just keep moving and growing and creating.
I wanted to ask this already. Well, is there anything else that we didn't really touch on that you want to put out there?
No.
I was gonna ask you, like, where did the name Twleve'Len come from, and why did you put like the apostrophe and everything?
Cause when I was growing up, like Flo Rida and all them boys, they used to call me V12 growing up because my actual name is Vars, and they used to try to push me away to play with the younger kids that was my age, and I never would. Like I always wanted to be with the older guys. Even at the age of like 10, 11, 12, 13, I was like, yo, I ain't trying to fuck with them guys. I used to call them jits, and it was my age.
Yeah.
You feel me? So they started calling me V12. V12 is the highest performance engine you can put in a car. So like that's how they describe me, like a little fast ass shit. Like so they call me V12. And then I want to say like around like MySpace times. I used to release my music on MySpace, right? Like little freestyle. Like that's back when I used to be rapping. Yeah. And I used to call myself V12. So once we learned the YouTube game, we started uploading music to YouTube. But whenever I used to type my name V12 in, I used to find nothing but car motors.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, fuck, I gotta switch my name. So I got rid of the V, I kept the 12, and I just added Len. And the Len, that's my grandfather's name as well, which is Len.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just kept the 12, added the Len, and then that's just how you got the 2.
Oh, okay.
Like honestly, like it wasn't even fully because of my grandfather. It just sounded cool. I was like, damn, I like it. Like,
I remember it was definitely unique. Like when I would see it, because I found out about you on SoundCloud, so I would see like the featuring 12 man. So
yeah.
Who's this guy? 12.
Yeah, a lot of people be saying, yo, like 12-11, da 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 da. Like, I like, oh shit. It's same shit. Like even like when me and Black first started coming up, like he was having the same issue. Like people used to be calling him Slack, all kind of shit. He used to be getting hot. I don't even be getting mad. I just be like,
I always see those videos. It's like, oh, 6 lakh. No, it's
yeah,
black.
6 lakh. Like all kind of crazy shit. Yeah.
Where can they find you at?
I mean, find me on social media. Find me anywhere. Find me here at Velour. Find me at Twleve'Len, at Twleve'Len, and right here in Miami.
Alright, for sure. This has been 6 Feet, one and only, 12 man.